What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Facts and Stats. This is episode 97, NFL Wildcard Recap, Divisional Round Preview, NFL Talks in general. I have the co-host with me, Shaggy, and then I have two guests. I'm allowed them to introduce yourself, and we're going to go ahead and get started.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Shaggy from Facts and Stats. Follow me on Twitter at ShaggyX410.
Boy Sosa picks. Follow me at Sosa picks.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? It's Dmac. You can follow me on Twitter, DMacWake316, man.
I appreciate y'all fellas for joining Sosa and Dmac again. I've recorded with y'all, I think, 2-3 months ago. Shaggy, this is your first time recording with us. And I appreciate y'all willing to come on to Facts and Stats and be able to talk about the NFL playoffs. I think three of our teams are still left. Shaggy, I don't know what he be having going on. My team left, DMAC team left, Sosa team is left, and it's gonna be a fun one. The first game that took place on Saturday, January 13th, was the Texans and Browns, where the Texans pretty much dismantled the Browns 45-14. I'm gonna start with you, not only because we're in the AFC, right? I have to see them this Saturday, but you're in the AFC. Going into that game, what did you expect? And as far as how it played out, what was your thoughts on it? DMAC.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Sosa because you didn't see my bad. That's on me. Now, look, as far as the Texans and Browns, I thought that it was going to be a much closer game, obviously. I thought that the Texans had a little bit of an advantage being at home. The Browns had given up a lot of points on the road throughout the entirety of the season for as amazing as their defense has been. But the important part to me was simply, obviously, the Joe Flacco element, and it was a high risk, high reward, and obviously the Texans and D'Amico Ryan's defense took full advantage of the high risk part of that with the back-to-back pick sixes. But C.J. Stroud and his performance versus that defense, I thought passed a simple test of, hey, we know this. You're a rookie. You're coming into your first playoff game. Can you solve the simplicity of the talent that is on the Cleveland Browns defense, but the simplicity of the scheme of it? They were very static coverage-wise throughout the entirety of the season, and he passed it with flying colors. He understood what exactly they were going to do, him and Ben Slowick, a great offensive coordinator from that aspect. And simply put, he made every single throw that he needed to. And we've seen the arm talent, we've seen the poise under pressure, we've seen the accuracy throughout the entirety of the season, and that was certainly on display versus Cleveland Browns. So I didn't anticipate that being the margin of victory, but I did think the Texans had an advantage, and they certainly took it fully.
No, I definitely agree with what you just said. Pretty much everything for the most part. So what about you, bro? How was you feeling going into this game? The Texans doing what they did.
It went exactly how I thought it would. I did a space on last Wednesday. I said, you can't trust Flacco. He turns it over. C.J. Stroud has now accomplished the best rookie season in the history of the NFL at the quarterback position. It's really no conversations to be had at this particular juncture. And we just got to be honest about what we're seeing. We're seeing a dude who's 22 he looks like a seasoned vet. You can't confuse him. You can't speed him up. He's not rattled. And like I said, the number one thing is you can't speed him up. That's the biggest thing with young quarterbacks. Myles Garrett is special, yes, but then also, like I said, the quarterback for Cleveland, Joey Flacco, come on, garbage. So, it's not 2011 or whatever it was when he threw that miracle pass to Jacoby. You remember, of course. I know you remember. Yeah, that's not a completion in any other stadium, by the way. But yeah, Flacco showed his true colors, and it is what it is. Here we are.
You had anything to say about it, Shaggy? I know going into the game you got the Browns, so.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I did not expect that from Mr. C.J. Stroud. Some people call me a street Stroud hater. Listen, man. Cool. He balled out. I can admit he one of them ones, straight up like that. He one of them ones. I was not expecting that. The guy was flawless. It was crazy to watch. I did not expect that. I did not. I was high on that Browns defense, and like Dmac said, Ben Slowick had a hell of a game plan. attack the safeties, attack Greg Newsome. They pretty much were going at everybody but Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson when they were throwing the ball. Everybody else got attacked. Good game plan. Good game plan. They were moving CJ Stroud around the pocket. It was flawless. He was great. He's a great guy, man. He's a great quarterback. I gotta give him his praise now. I give him his praise. We gonna double back next year though for them Bryce Young talks. But yeah, I wasn't expecting that. Shout out to the Texans. Shout out to CJ Stroud. Shout out to D'Amico Ryan. Yeah, but Joe Flacco got to go. Got to go.
I don't know. It's crazy because I think like 2 days after that game, it was Joe Flacco's 39th birthday. So he's pretty much going to be retiring, if I'm not mistaken, this offseason. I would expect that to happen. As far as the game, I went into the game with, predicting the Texans to win, solely due to CJ Stroud. Obviously one of their better wide receivers this year is out, but and Tank Dell. But the impact and the connection, I'll say, that him and Nico has is definitely real. Dalton Schultz has been a good weapon for them as well. He didn't have the best game when they played, but still, just in general. Mechie came in, chipped in. Devin Singletary was fine on the ground. So, I'm sorry.
Jordan, the backup had that crazy long touchdown. That was insane.
They got a bunch of ball players, bro.
He caught that ball at like 10 yards and took it another 60.
I love Brevin Jordan because he has all the athleticism in the world, and him and Schultz are kind of a nice compliment for each other. But boy, you saw that gap, and he took full advantage of it. It was impressive to watch. But yeah,
that tight end running away from everyone like that was crazy. Especially that.
He's a heck of an athlete, man. I really liked him in the draft. So shout out to Brevin Jordan.
Yeah, just all in all, a super duper shout out to the Texans. And everything that they did. I can't wait to get y'all thoughts on the game this Saturday when they play the Ravens. But we're going to jump to the next one again. And not unfortunately, but Dmac, this is you again. You're Chiefs. Going to this game, me personally, I don't think Tua can lead any offense. I can't look at, even with the weapons that they have, I can't look at this team and say, oh yeah, they're going to win a playoff game. No matter who they're playing. That's just me personally. They went into Kansas City and they played the Chiefs in Arrowhead. Mahomes first. This week coming up is going to be his first playoff game on the road. What was your thoughts for this game, going into it, and then how it played out? Did you dislike anything as far as how you guys played, or a certain player played, or anything like that, or what?
Well, I will say this to your point. Given the fact that Tua was the quarterback, and the conditions, and the fact that they had the injuries they did on defense, I will tell you I was far more nervous going to the game about the cold than I was about actually winning the game. And that's just how I approached it, to be honest with you. Fortunately, I was very warm. I had plenty of layers on. But look, as far as the game is concerned, Trey McDuffie, L'Jarius Sneed, the secondary in general flexed his talent. It forced Tua to hold the ball for an extra second or two. The pressure eventually got to him. He obviously gave us the turnover. In general, their offense did not cross our 25. They obviously only scored their points off of Tyreek Hill's amazing play. And you got tip your cap to that man being a Hall of Fame caliber player. And he had some funny stuff to say on social media after it, and Chiefs Kingdom has love for Tyreek Hill, but we had to send him home from that aspect. On the offensive side of the ball, I thought it was really about our trenches. Especially our interior three. They have two very good interior defensive linemen, but our interior three is elite from that aspect and replayed as such. And certainly our tackles were able to handle their edges accordingly, and dominating up front allowed Mahomes to have all the time in the world. And then also for us to fuel our run game, obviously Pacheco was key. And, Rashee Rice caught all the crosses in the world, created all the yak, had a touchdown, should have had two. Ultimately, even with some Travis Kelce drops, the team was able to put plenty of points on the board, and it wasn't close. That wasn't a surprising outcome to me. I think that Miami was not necessarily some, amazing juggernaut that we took down by any means. I think they were a first step, truly a wild card opponent from that aspect. And, the challenge is going to get greater next week. But I think it was a good first step on both sides of the ball, especially starting at the way that we dominated in the trenches.
Well said. Anybody else got any comments on that? Well said.
No, it was Miami in the cold. We all kind of know. That was a great. That was the perfect analysis of what happened. Yeah.
Super put.
But yeah, I was just gonna say they weren't gonna win because it was really cold.
I think this next one coming up, while we're getting to the divisional round soon, this game coming up was undoubtedly the biggest surprise of the weekend for me. With the Packers just walking into Dallas and playing like they were in Green Bay. I want to give big credit to Jordan Love. Shaggy was praising this guy since week one. And when you see a rookie quarterback and what CJ did at home and how he performed, and then you see another young first-year starting, because he's not a rookie, but first-year starting quarterback in Jordan Love, and how he performed, it's like, you can just look and say, damn, this league is in great hands. When you look at all the good quarterbacks that we have so far, and Lamar and Mahomes and Josh and Burrow, and many other people. But Love and CJ is just now going to try to bump their way into the top 10. Some probably already have them in the top 10 right now. But the Packers, this game, 48-32, they pretty much whooped up on the Cowboys. I didn't see this one coming. I think Aaron Jones had, 4 touchdowns? 3, I think.
I
Three
think
touchdowns.
3.
Yeah, I think it was 3
3.
touchdowns.
It felt like 7, but it was 3.
and Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson been out of the lineup. Jaden been hurt this year. They've been dealing with a lot of different injuries offensively. Aaron been hurt this year. Even A.J. Dillon as well. And they still batted their way all the way to the playoffs, and they took down the Cowboys. Going into this game, anybody, this is an open question to anybody, did anybody have the Packers a chance at winning or beating the Cowboys, or everybody presumed the Cowboys were going to win this game?
I had Packers.
I had the Packers. Like I literally said, you take them with the 7, and you take them to win. I put out like an active like I put up a recap of it too. Like, bro, the Cowboys defense is not good, and if you can run the ball, Jordan Love can be super effective. You have to be able to run the ball though. That's part of it. You have to be able to run the rock, and that's what they were able to do. Once you have to show your hand and show that you have to bring an extra guy up to try and support the run on defense, and you're going to have to spam some sort of zone in the back end, Jordan Love's going to cook you. He's great against zone. The thing is that you have to be able to run the ball. That's the key. And look at the games where he's been wildly successful. They've been able to establish some level of the run game so you can get a lot of those actions off of it, whether it be bootlegs or just play action or just different things that you can do in this with the same formations just over and over. So yeah, credit to Jordan Love. He looked great in my opinion. I mean, he looked like CJ did. They had the exact same stat line. I think like 16 for 21. I think it was identical. So yeah, just a proficient, efficient day. And then obviously Dak Prescott's bum ass gave you one, and that's how it goes.
Gave you 2.
No, but he gave you 1 for an extra tud. You know what I mean? To give up the touchdown was the worst. Can't give up the pick 6. That was the final nail.
That was tough. I did have the Packers plus the 7. I thought at the very least they were going to have to keep it close. From Sosa's point, being able to run the ball, Matt LaFleur's, you knew that he was going to implement a bunch of motion because that's where that tree comes from as far as Shannon is concerned. And he took full advantage of Dan Quinn and specifically the light linebacker play that the Cowboys had out there on a consistent basis. And to be honest with you, the second that they took the ball out of the coin toss, I was like, oh, okay, so they understand what they need to do here, which is get up, make sure the Cowboys aren't in their game script and put them in an uncomfortable position. And ultimately, that's what led them to have that blowout. Like you said, Jordan Love, all the arm talent in the world with Floor dialing up, came together beautifully for them. And the defense stepped up as much as they needed to. And, obviously the game came up and the Cowboys still put up 32 points. And so it's going to look closer than it is from that aspect. But, it wasn't a close game. And, now that we have the foresight or hindsight, whatever you want to put it, of knowing that Mike McCarthy is going to survive this game as the Dallas Cowboys head coach, I will say it pretty plainly, I can eliminate them from any contention next year. They will not win anything as long as Mike McCarthy is their head coach. He is too bad as far as game management is concerned, using timeouts. His offensive scheme is not innovative. It is maybe slight tweaks here or there, and it's too over-talented from that aspect, or talent specifically, reliant. So, no, I am eliminating them from contention as far as I'm concerned next year because I don't trust them with that head coach.
Can I just ask one question in regards to what you said? Mike McCarthy's an offensive coach, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, supposedly he's an offensive coach, right? The defense was the one that was getting ragdolled, right? They were the ones getting ragdolled, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And then the quarterback, the trigger man, threw a pick six.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you that they're not going to win shit, but I don't think that he should have been fired. I mean, who are you going to replace? That's the thing. It's like people want to have like these great ideas, but it's like
there's a lot of really good coaches out there.
I bet there are, but it's whoever. It has nothing to do with the coach. It's the owner. And Jerry has to have a yes man. He has to have somebody he can trample very easily. And that's how this is going to continue. And it's his last year of his deal, so it's going to make him work on his last year of his deal. And I guess that'll be it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to use that portion of it, I think that's very valid. You've had 30 years worth of sample size to prove that Jerry Jones and the way that he structured this organization doesn't work either. The thing I will say is I think that there were things to be fixed from that aspect. I think you can go out and get linebackers and to tweak the system. I think Dan Quinn is a solid defensive coordinator that can coordinate an actual defense that works when you actually have the talent there, and they need to increase their linebacker talent a little bit in the spine of defense in general. I think the offensive system with a better offensive coordinator would be better, but Mick McCarthy is your head coach, so I don't trust him. Yeah. And maybe it's just Jerry Jones ultimately, and I think that's a very valid way to look at it too.
I don't think Dan Quinn's a good coach, but that's just me.
I wouldn't touch him for a head coach. I don't know why the hell he's getting those interviews.
This is my only thing with him. You were in Seattle he was in Seattle for years. Mm-hmm. How can you not compete against the San Francisco 49ers?
Yeah.
That was before Shannon was there too. So.
Yeah, but it's not. Yeah, but he's coached against that organization forever, and he can't come close defensively at least. Dan Quinn sucks, man. Come on, chokes in every big game. He's always done it.
Yeah. Actually, that was actually my follow-up question. I'm glad y'all even dived into that anyway. But real quick, if you made it this far into the episode, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out Facts and Stats on all platforms at Facts and Stats _. Yeah, my question. So outside of, we all know Mike is there. The report came out yesterday. I didn't hear anything about Dan. I think everything's going to stay the same. But Trayvon Diggs will be returning next year as well. So now him and I'm gonna say all pro. Got to give him some respect. Deron Bland. They're going to be, they're going to be. I gotta give them some respect. They're gonna be a little pairing. We stated linebacker help, and Dak most likely is gonna be the quarterback next year as well. So, what are we just gonna say? The Cowboys are gonna be a regular 10 to 12 win team, and that is what it is.
Yep.
Yeah, they'll compete for the division.
Yep.
And they won't win anything. They won't get to the championship game.
They're losing the playoffs again. They're not reaching the NFC Championship game. They're going to lose in the first or second round again. The best chance to get to that big dance, they have to win the 1 seed. That's their best chance. If they don't win that 1 seed, they're not getting to the NFC Championship game.
It's just that simple. The crib on Sunday.
I know, but that's their best chance.
Like, what? They just lost at the crib. You know what their best chance is?
Okay.
Get rid of Dak, bro. You gotta. I'm sorry. I would get this year. I guess it's McCarthy and Dak. This is your. Y'all are playing for your jobs, or y'all are working for your jobs here. I don't see where they go, man. The Eagles aren't going to suck for long.
They got to extend Dak, right?
Yeah, his cap 60 M.
His cap hit is too big. You got to extend him. So.
Wow. Okay.
Or make a decision on it. If you think that he's got to go, then trade him. But something has to be done as far as.
Yeah, I don't think they can trade him. Trade him and do what? Like, I think they got to keep him.
Who the fuck is trading for
3 years? Yeah, you can't trade him. You cannot trade him. Trading him is he's ass, but it's setting you back, bro. They're too good to trade him.
He's a very good quarterback. He's too good to trade, but he's probably not great enough to keep from
very good statistically. Very good statistically.
He's good, Sosa. He's good. He's just not great. He's not great.
Okay.
He's good.
He's okay. He's all right.
He'll get you through the 17. He'll get you through the 17 games.
You're talking to a Niner fan, brother. He's
terrible versus y'all. He's awful versus y'all. There's no doubt about that. He's god awful versus y'all.
He's garbage, bro. You can't convince me otherwise. Like, he's one of the best garbage time quarterbacks ever. He's like Phillip Rivers with black.
They got to pay CD. They got to pay Dak.
Hey, Bo.
Micah, like.
That's all this offseason?
I think so. I know CD is up. You got to pay him. I don't know about Micah.
CD about to get like 3 years, 100 M's.
Yeah, CD about
All
to get a
guaranteed.
bag.
I think you got one more year on Micah, but this is going to be very expensive very shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, especially if Mike is gonna want a salary like a Bosa.
Yeah.
He
Yep.
just what he
And,
can. He's getting
and then
paid,
it's,
right? Like
and CD might wait until Chase and Jetta sign what they get and come back to them. So I want that. So it's going to be interesting for them this offseason, bro.
a lot of money, man. A lot of money moving in the next like calendar year in the NFL. A lot.
I can't wait to see
Yep.
it. We had one more game before we start to talk about the divisional round, get our thoughts and our picks and winners, and get up out of here. The Rams versus the Detroit Lions. Matthew Stafford first game in Detroit since he went to the Rams, won a Super Bowl with the Rams. And Jared Goff now still is the quarterback as well for the Lions. The Lions won 24-23. Good game. I'm gonna just leave it at this was a phenomenal game on both sides. Matthew Stafford showed toughness. He showed grit. Puka showed that he's going to be one of the emerging better wide receivers to come. I believe he set an NFL record for most receiver yards in a playoff game. I think he surpassed DK. I think DK had that record. Other than that, as far as the line side of things, one player that I noticed before we talk about the game, I'm gonna like Brian Branch. I like Brian. He gives me a little bit of Kyle Hamilton vibes. To where you can put him all over the field. You can put him all over the field. He can tackle. He can cover. I think he led them this season in passes defended. He just seems like he's an all around do it all safety. So I just want to shout out Brian Branch real quick. And other than that, the Lions, they've been who they are all season. You got the two-headed monsters in Gibbs and Montgomery. You got St. Brown on the outside. You got the stellar tight end play from Laporta. Did he score? Did Laporta score? I think Laporta scored.
I
I
don't
think
think
Laporta scored.
so.
I think he had a lineman on a
Yes,
linebacker on a
yes, he
line.
did. Remember, he scored a touchdown on 4th down.
Yeah, I think he had the lineman on
Right.
something like
Yep.
that. Yeah, so
Yeah, he did. Yep.
yeah, I just want to shout out to the Lions. Overall, it was a good game. I think they was my winner. I had them winning going into this game. What about y'all? How y'all feel about this one?
I had Lions. I didn't think the Rams defense would be able to stop them too many times, even though they did. But they didn't capitalize second half. I think they held the Lions to 3 points in the second half. Was it 3 points?
As you noticed that McVay
They had them to 3 points in the second half and lost the game.
McVay looking real geniusy. He's just stalled in
Yeah,
the
it was. So the defense wasn't the problem in the second half.
I agree with that. Yeah, I had the Rams. I thought this was going to be a close game either way. I didn't, I wasn't surprised the Lions won by any means. But to your point, I mean, the stalling out in the red zone, the misuse of timeouts, not a good performance from Sean McVay, in my personal opinion. What I will say is the Rams overachieved this year. The way that they kind of came into it, they were in a reset year, getting to the wild card round, looking the way they did. And if Stafford is healthy for the next 1 to 2 years, they have a chance here to kind of reset their roster and try to make another run at it. So still overachieved, but a disappointing performance, in my personal opinion, from Sean McVay, from a game management and then also a red zone performance as far as that offense is concerned.
He was refusing to run the ball in the red zone.
And you're absolutely right. Listen, again, I get it that you have good synergy with the play call and the quarterback and the receivers, but you're not even trying to run the ball. And that's been a huge component of what got you to this point, right? To like give you a level of balance. Now, every single play, it's you living and dying on the right arm of Matthew Stafford, and he's getting lit up. And he took all the punishment. You got to respect him. He's always been like that. He's always been a warrior. But
he came back to Detroit and thought he was playing for the Lions again. That's for sure.
And they weren't playing. Listen, the crowd was not playing with him. That's another thing I respect about Detroit fans. You would opt now, bro. We not giving you we not cheering for you, none of that, bro. We want to kill you. We don't. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to win.
Yeah.
And I love that. That was one thing I really respect about the Detroit crowd. I'm happy as hell that they won. No lie, I'm extremely happy. I hate the Rams, man. I could never. McVay, real genius. Get inside the 20, can't score no points. Field goal.
Yeah.
Guard.
Well, I almost appreciate y'all for the quick comments on that. I can't believe I almost missed these last two games though. Bills and Steelers. I'm gonna be brief. Shout out to the Bills, 31-17. I really just can't wait that they play the Chiefs this upcoming weekend. I'm pretty sure I probably feel the same way about that. Mike Tomlin looked like he's gonna be returning for another year to coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. has not had a losing season in his coaching tenure in Pittsburgh. That's amazing to me. But also has not won a playoff game since 2016 or something like that. So uh, I don't know what Pittsburgh is going to do. Do y'all want to even comment on the Pittsburgh Steelers or anything like that, or just
Man, man. Man. Shout out to Tomlin, but like you just they what can they do? They overachieve every year. Cool. The winning record, yeah, but bro, at some point you gotta come on, man. No, some point Steelers. No, bro, your front office can't keep doing this. You can't keep doing this, bro. You cannot keep doing this. When you do that, that's when you settle for guys like Kenny Pickett. Where did he go? 15 in the draft? 20 something in the draft?
Yeah.
No. Like, come on. No. That's what winning too many games gets you.
How is all of your quarterbacks backups?
It makes no sense.
None of them are good. Like,
and you have the highest paid backup at that.
I don't understand it. I don't get it. Like, what do you
So
do?
Like now what I think they got like pick. I forgot what pick they have in this year's draft. I don't know.
In the
Like
20s, like, it made the
It'll
playoffs.
be in the 20s. It'll be in the 20s. So
it's like, come on, man.
You're a connoisseur of great television. There's an episode of Breaking Bad where Mike goes to Walt and says no more half measures, and that's the answer for the Steelers. You can't have any more half measures. You can't keep doing this foolishness that Shaggy refers to, where you're taking quarterbacks in the team. It's not going to work. You can't keep having backup quarterbacks lead your roster. This team is aging at certain positions. They have some young talent to work off of. I'm not saying that there isn't. I think if they get the right offensive coordinator and they actually take a swing at a quarterback that has real talent, they have a chance, because I do believe in Tomlin as a head coach. But until you do that, you're going to continue to have these, 9, 10 win seasons. You're either first round exit or you miss the playoffs. And that's simply where your season is going to end every single year. So for me, they got to take a real swing at quarterback, whatever that may be. If they love winning the draft and they actually have talent, great. If they want to trade a second for Justin Fields, also great. You have to figure out what that swing is and make sure that it pairs with a good offensive coordinator. If you really want to get out of this treadmill that you've been on for the last, 8 years.
yeah? It all starts.
Facts.
It all starts with the quarterback for me when it comes to them, and I'm glad that, and I'm still so appreciative that we seen Super Bowl. Thank you, Flacco. Get your money. A good season after that, then a couple of mediocre years and things like that. But you know what? We're going to trade back up and get our quarterback. And I'm so thankful that we did that in Lamar Jackson. I think Pittsburgh is in a battlefield now.
Well, tell me about it.
They got to get their quarterback. If they don't get their quarterback, they can't proceed. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you look at the rest of the division, the Browns make sure they got their quarterback. I'm not saying Watson is the guy that's going to be spectacular or anything like that. I don't know what to expect from Deshaun Watson anymore, to be honest. The Bengals got their quarterback. The Ravens got their quarterback. The Steelers are the last leg, and to me, it's still the best division in football. Don't get that twisted. I think year in, year out, that's shown. What's the comeback to that?
Lamar Jackson is literally the gold coin you find in the middle of the fucking desert. Like that's it's just
It was Ozzy's last gift to that franchise.
You can't like that's not. It's not the same, bro.
What's not the same? What you talking about?
Need that. I think for them, what they need to do is they need to go trade for Justin Fields.
Justin Fields, yeah. For me, it's Justin Fields.
Or sign Russell Wilson.
Oh, Russell Wilson.
I'm cool with Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson fits what they want to do. They got two good running backs. They got good receivers. Their offensive line's not garbage. Are you going
to convince him to throw the ball?
I think they need to go young, Sosa. I think they need to stay young, Sosa, at that position.
George Pickens not going to run with Russ, bro.
I want to believe that. You can't. This is my thing. Is that like I don't think you can. I think the issue for Pittsburgh going to get like a Justin Fields. I would love for that to happen, but the issue is this: is that when you trade for him, you have to immediately commit to $45 to $50 million immediately, and there is no guarantee right now that we know he's good, bro. I love the kid, but you are still gambling on an unproven entity. That's what it is. That's what Justin Fields is, and I love his talent. I know he's extremely smart, but that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? I think
Russell Wilson though.
Russ is a safer move. You're probably gonna get him cheaper for sure. He's not getting no $50 million, right? You probably get him on a low budget deal, and he showed you like his resume. He did not play badly.
This is
He wasn't
assuming he's
playing
cut.
bad in Denver.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm good on. I'm good on Russell Wilson. So
That's just
I'm
what
good on him.
I'm just saying. But I just think that team is much more equipped to take on him as opposed to Denver. Denver had no O line. Their receivers sucked. They had no good tight ends. Their offensive line was garbage, and their defense fell off a cliff the first 8 weeks of the season. Like
The receivers
I
didn't
see.
suck.
and he
The
still
receivers
played.
didn't suck.
He
I
did
think
play.
Russ is an understandable veteran free agent addition for them, and I definitely get it because there's some of the things you saw Cortland Sutherland winning the ball down the field. That's exactly what Pickens likes to do. I think Deontay Johnson's a better second wide receiver than they have in Denver. I would be concerned a little bit about what your offensive coordinator choice would be and how you can fit that system around what Russ wants to do. But outside of that, I think you can make it work. I do obviously prefer Joseph Fields, but I think that upside wise, that gives you the better chance. And he's a guy you have to pick up the 5th-year option on him, and it's a little pricey, but I think that it's worthy enough to see where he's at. And then if he plays well for you, then you can extend him, and then that gives you at least a future plan to work off of. Where necessarily Russ is more of a hey, we got to win now type of move. From my perspective, at least. So that would be a difference to me. I think either of those paths is much better than what they've been doing recently.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
that's a fact.
All right. I mean, this one. Uh, it's a lot of delusional fans, man. A lot of delusional people out there, to where it's comedy to me because I don't understand how people can see how a team. Don't burn it. 10-1, phenomenal start. I wasn't impressed with that. I wasn't impressed. I personally was not impressed with the start because I actually watched the games. And they were still winning. Shout out to them. 10-1. You finished the season 1-5 with losses to I think the Giants, the Cardinals. The Giants one was super bad. The Giants, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was a part of that stretch. And they go into the playoffs now, and they play Tampa in Tampa, and people was telling me that they have the better roster, they have the better quarterback. They're still going to win this game. And I'm sitting there wondering like how, like why, like they don't have any. To me, they don't really have any corners. Shout out to Slay. Bradbury slowed down. Bradbury's season has been. I think they already playing without Blankenship. He's not that good anyway. I think Sidney Jones was out too. He's not that good anyway. They don't really have a secondary. They don't have any linebackers. Their main guys are up front, and Reddick and Cox, and I guess you can say Carter if you want to, and anybody else. And I think that was shown. Like Baker went into this game, and the Bucs went into this game pretty much comfortable every single time down. Mike Evans had too many drops. It probably would have got ugly a little quicker, but I think he dropped a touchdown. He had another drop as well with a phenomenal pass for Baker on the left side. Baker was real accurate to me in this game. He did what he needed to do. 337 passing yards, and it was a couple of dump downs to White, and White ran the ball well. White was also a passing threat as well. So, and then Godwin got into the end zone. Overall, great game offensively and defensively. And then most importantly, what they did was you pressure Jalen Hurts. I think on the stat could be wrong, but on 25 or 26 dropbacks, 18 of them were blitz. 18 of them was blitzes, and the Eagles did not counter or do anything to limit that. It was real reminiscent of what the Ravens and the Dolphins game was a couple of years ago, a year ago, where they went cover zero the whole damn second half.
Yeah.
And the Eagles also was already playing without AJ Brown, so even with AJ, I probably still would have picked the Bucs anyway. But shout out to Devontae Smith, he showed up. But I mean, Eagles they got work to do, and I'm leaving it at that. I mean, I'll let y'all comment on the game. How does that feel like it went? 32-9. Dmac, I know you was the Bucs with me. You bet with the Bucs. You can further explain that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was an easy call to me. Like you talked about from an offensive perspective, the game plan was blitz Jalen Hurts on a consistent basis, and pretty much 80% of their answers when you blitz Jalen Hurts is AJ Brown getting a jump ball. And obviously, without AJ Brown, I was like, okay, well, they're not going to score then, and that's exactly what happened. Baker Mayfield, like you said, distributed the ball very well. I expected him to, considering the secondary and generally the back seven of this defense doesn't exist. Whether it was Cade Otton or Trey Palmer, he was able to find those guys, and obviously we know what Godwin and Evans are capable of. So shout out to Baker for a very competent game, solid game, was able to distribute, like you said, very accurately. And nothing about that was surprising. This Eagles team aged at some very key positions. They weren't able to generate nearly as much pressure as they did last year specifically. It did not cover up their secondary as they were able to at times last year. And ultimately speaking, the offense regressed to where it was already incredibly basic last year and talent oriented. But it also, was kind of on a house of cards from the aspect of if you have an injury here, an injury there, and then teams ultimately figure out whatever that answer is to your incredibly basic offense, and you have no options to go to from there. So it wasn't surprising to me how the season ended. Another huge coaching issue. We'll see if they end up rectifying it.
Sosa, I want to go straight to you real quick. And I know we only got about 5 minutes left, so I'm gonna speed this up real quick. It was supposed to be Eagles 49ers conference championship. You got anything to say about to the Eagles, Sosa?
No, not really, man. Amicable year. I'm happy for them. I'm super happy for them. I'm super happy that they can talk about participation trophies and all that and woulda, coulda, shouldas. But we all know if Brock Purdy didn't get hurt, we would have beat the brakes off of them in Philadelphia last year. And this wouldn't even be a talking point. Sirianni would have been fired easily, but he got to a Super Bowl because they hurt the quarterback. So now they get to keep him and suck again because he's the problem. Them two coordinators that left, they knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Clearly. They clearly know. You see it, right? Gannon, Steichen, both look great. Sirianni, big bloviating moron, just doesn't know a damn thing, just out there lost. So, best of luck to them. They're going to have to keep him for at least another year. Hopefully Lurie doesn't get sucked in by the players. Because the players don't know shit about the coach. Well, he's a good coach. Yeah, he lets you get away with bullshit. That's why you love him. Yeah.
Hargrave came out and said that obviously the Niners practices are far harder than they were in Philadelphia. It's not surprising to me. Shane Steichen with the Colts, his motion offense.
Fat ass? You seen his fat ass the last 6 weeks of the season? Motherfucker was having an ass attack every time he's on the field. He's garbage. Jordan Davis, useless fat piece of nothing.
Them Georgia picks have not necessarily panned out to an extreme extent yet.
Don't get me started on Nolan Smith. Nolan Smith is ass. That kid is ass. I'm sorry, he's ass.
Smith is ass. Nakobe Dean is ass.
Nolan Smith stink.
Only one that's good is Carter. Carter, if Carter is healthy and actually commits himself to football, he could be special. I ain't gonna lie about that. That's undeniable. The other guys, Jordan Davis,
Ringo Davis.
I think Jordan Davis, he's going to be good, but Nolan Smith, he need to move to the inside. That outside linebacker rushing the passer, that shit ain't for him. Not at the NFL level.
He is lazy. He's just lazy because we know he's a freak athlete. Mm-hmm. So put the chicken wings down. The dude couldn't even.
He could be a very, very good one technique for sure. No doubt about it. Because like you said, he's a freak athlete for his size. He just hasn't committed himself to it.
Yeah, he just not committed to conditioning.
Which I think, I know they had an interview. I think Mike Vrabel actually coming in would be very nice for what their team needs. Because they need that head coach, disciplinary, let's inject a lot of accountability into what this roster needs. Because the talent and Howie Roseman and the way in which he can inject talent into a roster, I think will improve. It's just about if they can have people accountable within that building.
Well, they said they're not making a head coaching change right now, so
I do have to say this one thing. Jalen Hurts is still a star in this league. I don't want people to think that because of some poor performances or because the numbers didn't fit the narrative. Because that's the thing. The numbers don't fit the narrative. So when the numbers fit the narrative, you can say any type of garbage you want about a player. Mm-hmm. But Jalen Hurts is the star. He's an elite leader, and the players around him rock with him. There's no ifs, ands, or questions about it. So if you want a guy to go out there and throw the ball 50 times and get 400 yards and think that it's fantasy football, cool. But nobody started complaining until this team was already 10 games on the board in their pocket. So, just slow it down. And just remember also, none of those games that they won, they would have won without him. So,
absolutely.
True.
You know, don't go out here. Don't go out here just trying to, because that's what it is. The narratives can be ran with now. He didn't have a good season. They made the playoffs and lost the division on the last day of the season.
Right, so
But
this
Like-
last, and I appreciate that comment, so thank you for adding that on and ending that part with Jalen Hurts praise. Don't get it twisted for nobody. This last one, take 1 minute or less, y'all, for all 40 matchups. 1 minute or less. We got 4 divisional round games coming up. Ravens, Texans, Packers, 49ers, Bucs, Lions, Chiefs, Bills. We're going to start Texans, Ravens. Pick who you got winning. Explain why. 1 minute or less. Me personally, I'll start. This is my team. Obviously, we're playing. Well, now news today. We're playing without Marlon Humphreys. Could be tough. I'm liking the season that Brandon Stevens been having, and also I'm liking that we can put Cal in the slot. We can put Cal in the back end. We can put Cal in the box. We can make Cal pressure the quarterbacks. Marcus Williams been fine on the back end for the most part this year when he has been healthy. Geno Stone as well. I think he tied on the league in interceptions. And I think most importantly, we just got to get pressure to CJ. When I went to the game week 1, I left the game and said, man, he does not look like a rookie. But in that game, we got pressure to him and made him move around in the pocket and made him a little bit uncomfortable as a rookie. Now, 17, 18 weeks down the line, he's a better quarterback. He's obviously got to feel the game more, so that's going to make it tough. Try to contain Nico, limit Devin, no running game, and I think this will be fine for us. With Roquan and PQ in the middle, both all pros, I think we'll be all pro bowlers. No, both all pros. I think we'll be fine. I expect the Ravens to win this one probably by 10 or more, and Lamar Jackson be superb, stellar. And it will up his playoff record to 2-3. Not too great yet, but by the time we finish, we'll be 4-3, I think. So yeah, we'll be good. Anybody else? 1 minute or less.
Yeah, I mean, just real quick, I do think the Ravens will win. I think they'll just put up a little bit more points from that aspect. I think that CJ Stroud will find better success than he did in that first matchup. But generally, the difference here, the Ravens' ability to change the picture post-snap is literally the opposite end of the spectrum from what the Cleveland Browns normally did. I think that will frustrate CJ a little bit more. But that's going to be the big test for me that I'm going to be watching is how much CJ can handle that aspect of it and still operate under pressure from that point. But I think that the Ravens offense was rolling, and I think they still will be able to dictate to the Texans defense and get out of there with a win.
What you got, Shaggy?
Yep, me personally, I'm going Ravens. Mark Andrews coming back, even though I don't think they need him to actually play a lot of snaps to win this game. I don't think he will. I think he'll just be out there as a decoy. That Ravens defense is serious. Marlon Humphrey did just get ruled out not too long ago. But like Ev said, you're going to pressure him. Kyle Hamilton will be all over the place. Yeah. I don't think the Texans will have enough in this game to score on that defense. Chiefs, Bills. I got Chiefs.
Hold on.
You ain't going like that?
Nah.
Okay.
I got the Ravens by a lot. Game's not being played in Houston. The bank gonna be different, and I know CJ's not gonna be rattled. No, I just feel like number 8's on a mission, man. Yeah. He done with the talking. He done with. He don't want to talk about nothing. He just want to go out there and whoop somebody's ass, and I think that's what he gonna do. Number 8's on a mission, man. That's all I got for you in this one. If you want to get in the way, cool. Get in the way. Go ahead.
Appreciate y'all. Next, 49ers Packers. I'm gonna be brief. I got the 49ers in this one. I don't think the level of play and the different things that they was able to do scheme-wise, period, against the Cowboys defense was going to be similar to the 49ers defense. I look at that team and I see what the Ravens can do with the mixture of guys, and I think it all starts with the 2 linebackers. You know, for us, a lot of what we do, open field tackling, period, and leadership, comes with Roquan and PQ. When you look at the 49ers, it comes from Fred and Greenlaw. And they also have guys up front, obviously, and Bosa and Chase, et cetera. So I'm going with the 49ers in this one. Same. I think it's going to be a convincing win. You can say 7 or more. You can say double digits. I'm with the 49ers at home. I think they're going to come out and Brock Purdy's going to be ready. CMC's going to be ready. Debo, Kittle, Ayuk, and all the guys that they got.
Go ahead, Sosa.
The line is 8 points. I like the Packers to get their ass beat by 30. We are going to beat the shit out of them. Like, there's no conversation here. They not running the ball like that. Y'all don't know what the fuck y'all be watching. All you idiots that been in my mentions talking stupid, you got to be dumber than a bag of rocks to think that they're going to run the ball. They can't run the ball like that. So get that out of your mind. In the box with all the bad stuff. Come on, man. You already know. I love Jordan Love. Now I was calling him trash at the beginning of the
Now, okay. Oh,
but see, here's the thing. When they found the tweets of me saying he was trash, there's like literally like if you search it, the first tweet says Jordan Love was ass. Now he looks like a star, and they just skip past that to find the one where I said he was just ass.
Yeah.
So I have no problem giving a player their flowers, but again, he's been good. But then I also want y'all to pay attention to who they played outside of the Kansas City defense. Just saying. Bryce Young put up 30 on them. Yeah, good luck, man. Good luck. Good luck if you're a Packer fan, and good luck to the Packers. They're going to need it. If you think they're coming into Santa Clara to even come close to sniffing a win, you're smoking something that's extremely illegal. That's all I got off of them.
This is a that I know that that I know that what I'm gonna do. So like LaFleur, he can run that motion offense. His ability to run the ball is going to be significantly hindered. That is going to put Jordan Love in a lot of adverse situations, which is not necessarily one to be for the San Francisco defense. How much San Francisco has to play man-to-man is going to be very interesting because of how well the Packers are able to spread the ball out. Ultimately speaking, I don't think this game is going to be particularly close because the Joe Barry defense is going to be ripped to shreds by what Kyle Shanahan and this offensive talent is going to put out there. So that's my simple point. I think that the Niners win by at least double digits.
Yep, I got. Man, I can't even be biased for this game, man. I got the Niners, man. I can't even be biased for Jordan Love, but yeah, y'all went over everything. I got the Niners, bro. I got the Niners, bro.
We just lost Sosa. Sosa, thank you again, my brother. Last two games, Bucs Lions. I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna go Lions in this one. This is actually gonna be probably the closest game. This is gonna be a super close game. It's not easy to pick. I can't even tell y'all no reasons for this game. I gave y'all reasons for the first two, but this one I can't. Not right now. I just like what the Lions been doing this whole entire season, and I'm gonna just stay with it. I like the offense. I'm gonna stay with the Lions on this one.
Lions as well. I don't think the Bucs will be able to run the ball on the Lions. They're very good against the run, and I don't know if Baker giving me back-to-back playoff games of that. I don't think he's doing that. Not back-to-back. He gave the Eagles a couple of chances to get some interceptions. They dropped them. Jared Goff, I think he'll play well again, very good again. I don't think he'll turn the ball over. So yeah, I'm going Lions. They will be in the NFC Championship game after this week.
I'll be picking the Lions here. The question as far as the margin is going to come down to me, Aiden Hutchinson, how they try to move him along the line to try and find him mismatches. They've been willing to do that throughout the entirety of the season. Tristan Wirfs has been excellent at left tackle. They probably want to avoid that matchup as much as possible to try and get him free to create the pressure on Baker Mayfield. I don't think that they necessarily run the ball well from Tampa Bay's perspective. So if Aiden Hutchinson can lead that defensive pass rush to get consistent pressure on Baker and force him into a little bit of inaccurate throws, then I think the Lions can win by a significant margin. If not, then I think it's a little bit more of a track meet. But ultimately speaking, I think Detroit is going to be winning and going to San Francisco or Santa Clara for the NFC Championship game.
Last but not least, appreciate y'all too. Appreciate everybody that tapped into this episode as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We have the Bills versus the Chiefs. Feels like this is an every year thing. This time it's actually in Buffalo. So this is gonna be interesting to see. Chiefs, Bills, both teams finished the season 11-6. The Bills more so on the hot end or the better end of that. I'll say. I think they're now on like a 6-game winning streak. The Chiefs been having an up and down season. Not the best offensively when it comes to the outside guys, I'll say, and MBS and Kadarius and Sky and Wright's been the lone pop, and Wright's been popping for about 8-9 weeks now. I had him in fantasy football this year. Kelsey hasn't been the best this year as well. Some may say he slowed up. He's not being as effective, I'll say. As far as the game, though, I don't know if I'm assuming Douglas and Davis do play. Like Dmac said the other day in my space, the guy that subbed in for Milano, he hurt his ankle. I don't know his status either. But if I just had to pick to be on a different side, again, I don't really care who wins, but just to be on a different side of how they've been going in recent memories. I think I played like 3 times or something like that now. I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills win this game. I like James Cook. I like them in Georgia. I like what he's doing out the backfield for Buffalo. I think that gives them a different dynamic to to their offense to where it's not just read option, and most likely Josh Allen's going to run it. Like granted, he's always going to use his legs. He had a freaking like 50-yard rushing touchdown in the wild card round.
Mm-hmm.
Shakir had a couple of catches last week. Scored a touchdown. Diggs got them started in the first half. I'm glad that they started to utilize Diggs in the first half because the previous 8 weeks, it doesn't seem like he was a focal point. So I'm gonna roll with the Bills in this one. I think I said 1 minute or less, but I'm gonna roll with the Bills in this one. That's my pick.
I'm going Chiefs. I think. Listen, man, Patrick Mahomes. That's a bad guy. It ain't. You got to be special to beat him. It ain't a Josh Allen thing. Josh Allen is special in his own way, but I don't think they have the coaching staff to beat Patrick Mahomes. And I think the Chiefs have a great coaching staff. The Bills, I cannot say that. I don't care. This is his first playoff game outside the Super Bowl on the road. I don't care. Patrick Mahomes is that guy. It don't matter where he's at. It's going to always be tough to beat him. That on the road thing ain't going to phase him. I'm going Patrick Mahomes and that coaching staff. Josh Allen's special, but no, he don't got the coaching staff that Patrick Mahomes has to win this game. He's not beating that man in the playoffs. Regular season, he can get him. Playoffs, no, he ain't the one to do it. It's just that simple for me.
I respect it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'll start as obviously I'm going to be picking the Chiefs. I think we do win. Going on the road, the communication aspect is going to be different from this standpoint. Making sure guys are lined up in the right way and making sure our tackles don't create too many false starts. That's really the two biggest things that I'm most concerned about going on the road. Nothing really is concerning as far as Patrick Mahomes and his performance. His winning percentage on the road looks like his winning percentage at home, which is amazing. And his performance has always been great from that perspective. So as far as injuries are concerned, they're missing some guys in the spine of their defense. You know, Benford and Bernard did not play for them or did not practice, I should say, today. Teron Johnson, that concussion, we'll see if he's back. Taylor Rapp and Spector, two guys that they've kind of had fill in significantly in the middle of the defense have missed as well. We will see which one of those guys end up playing. We will be getting Pacheco and Drew Tranquil back for this matchup from earlier in the regular season, in which we lost to them in Arrowhead. There's two things as far as this is concerned. Obviously, the turnover differential is going to be huge. We have to take care of the ball the same way that we did versus Miami. Being able to have as many opportunities as scoring drives is going to be key, and also making sure we finish those. I think we had opportunities for some big plays. I think the Buffalo Bills are going to be mixing up their coverages, but also challenging these wide receivers with a lot of man-to-man. And there are opportunities for guys like Mecole Hardman to get down the field. I think if we can create those explosives, then we open things up from that aspect. Running the ball on a consistent basis is obviously going to be a big thing as well. I think our interior offensive line is going to have an advantage here as well in this game. I think even significantly so than we did versus Miami, because I do think highly of those Miami interior guys, but obviously the edge rushers for Buffalo is better. On the defensive side of the ball, you're going to have to put pressure on Josh Allen. It's not necessarily to get him on the ground, but it is to make him uncomfortable, try and force him into a few mistakes. I do like our matchups on that aspect. I think that Shakir and Gabe Davis, those guys can give you some issues from a wide receiver perspective, but I feel good about our corners. It's really going to come down to them targeting Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid. Those are the two guys that can wreck our game plan. If we are better from the safety and linebacker position, then I feel comfortable with what we can do. I think it'll be an incredibly tight game. I think it'll be, the best game of the weekend, but I do think that we go on the road and pull it out.
I love it. I'm excited, bro. Again, this
Yeah,
game.
I'd be excited.
And Lamar's back in the playoffs. We ain't playing the playoffs he ain't playing in 2 years. But I cannot wait to watch the Bills versus the Chiefs, bro. Thank you. Good luck. Thank you for joining us today as well. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And Dmac, my brother, I hope you have a phenomenal evening. Thank you for joining the show today.
Absolutely, yeah. Appreciate talking to you.